Hello, welcome to the Always Be Comedy podcast. Our guest today is the great Rachel Galvo. Tim, she's a funny dude.
She's great. She is superb. She, she look, fun fact. She grew up around the same place that my parents did, and we would lovely reminisce about that before we started the pod. It gets mentioned a couple of times. Rachel Galvo is very much. Hey, we talked about the future of comedy on last week's Friday episode. Rachel Galvo is the future of comedy. Should have said that.
Yeah, funny bones. It's a bit like the scene in Partridge where these two are having a lovely reminisce about Ireland, and then I was very much, let's talk about me. No, I tell you what, Tim, we really liked her to the extent where I think even like mid-gig, we were sort of saying to her, mate, let's get you down to Always Be Comedy. You know, you can tell. Now, dear listener, what Tim and I pride ourselves on is being able to spot when someone's naturally funny. I mean, I suppose you all can, because does someone make you laugh or not? But there is something more than that. And if they've got that, and she's got that magical it, and so we've been good on our word. And Tim, we can reveal, booked her. So Rachel is with us now. The reason why you can hear me literally finding an email. Is because we quite literally booked her last night, Tim, at the time of recording.
Yes, we did. I must say I'm delighted and very excited to have her because, you're going to like this episode. I think she's very, very funny, and she's building a fan base very, very quickly. Well, she's doing a UK tour and she's been doing comedy for less than 2 years. It's an amazing thing.
Right, so if you she's on the pod to obviously promo the tour. So be sure to go see Rachel Galvo on tour. Tim, I very nearly promoted the gig with Always Be Comedy before the tour, which would really not have been. That is not a great look at all. In fact, let's get to that just because I'll be mad at myself. Rachel Galvo tour. Here we go. You should have had that open up already. Yeah, you're right. We should. Sorry, I know that Tim has got it up already. Here we go. So she'll have already have done a couple, Tim. But this episode, okay. Sunday, the 2nd of November, Brighton Comedia. Tuesday, the 4th of November, Portsmouth, Wedgwood Rooms. Anyway. I mean, you know what, Tim? I'll do them all because I feel so guilty about almost promoing. Wednesday, the 5th of November, Bristol Hen and Chicken. Thursday, the 6th of November. Sorry for my sloppy diction there. The Dixon Studio in Essex. Friday, the 7th of November, Bellaby Studio in Guildford. Norwich looks like it's moving. Cambridge Junction, Wednesday, the 26th of November. And then in Ireland, she's performing at the Ambassador Theatre, December 4, 5, 6, and 7. And I think with Rachel, it's fair to say we haven't seen anything yet. This is very much. Yeah. I mean, she's already very successful. I was about to say we've got on at the ground floor. I can hear Rachel going, "Are you fucking joking?" I fill out megadomes. The show is called The Shite Feminist. I won't spoil it, but I always say that and then spoil it. I won't spoil it, but Tim, there was one story that Rachel told about when she played a certain venue.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll know the bit because I'm just like, oh my gosh. She played a certain venue when she'd been going a certain amount of time. And Tim, I mean, she's not my daughter, but I felt proud of her.
Yeah, what she's doing is amazing. It's a very good story. We won't spoil it, but she performs somewhere. Oh God, I'm spoiling it. She's performing somewhere she used to study at. She performs at her old school, all right. But the story itself is much better than that sounds.
No, it was another venue that I'm thinking of. I'm going to spoil it. Leicester Square Theatre.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Okay, look, guys, there are multiple fantastic gig stories in this episode.
Rachel Galvo is really, really funny and crucially, really, really likable. And
Yeah.
that makes for such a winning combination. And she really, I mean, she knocked our socks off. Tim, right, Tim and I, we're a couple of cheese balls, and I bet you're the same, dear listener. When we experience something good, we will write the email to say thank you. The Odeon, the Beckenham Odeon, will be bored of me emailing them to say thanks to your staff for being so lovely with my kids. Right? It's that sort of thing.
Really lovely, genuinely lovely.
And as soon as the Galvo episode finished, we emailed Team Galvo to say, "Good Lord, what a what a great dude Rachel Galvo is."
Yeah.
Our hearts were full, Tim.
Absolutely. Galvatron on you, on you, best friend. We think
Yeah.
she's really, really brilliant. And I'm very, very excited for her Always Be Comedy debut.
But as I say, this is, and I say this with warmth, this is very much the start. I can imagine, I think the Galvatron 3000 will be going from strength to strength to strength. And Tim's right, on Friday's episode, we talked about what's the next thing. And I mean, actually, Tim, she's proved that there's a lot more life in the old phone viral sketches and what have you, because she's relatively new and he's still proving that you can fill these megadomes by amassing these followings. I mean, it's wonderful. Now, Tim, here we go. I've delayed it by all of 30 seconds. So Rachel is performing at Always Be Comedy on Friday, the 21st of February. This will be very much, she'll be part of a mixed bill, I imagine. Tim, I would have thought Rachel will be in the middle.
Yes, I think so. That is often the place for debuts.
It's often the place for debuts because it's seen as the sweet spot, if you like, Tim.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Could you not? You could do a blog on comedy terminology, or why certain acts prefer the middle and that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The positioning of the night is something that's very important. And it doesn't always get considered, which I always find fascinating. Sometimes it's just put them there, put them there, put them there. But I think it's something we very much take care in. And yeah, we're not opening with the sort of wacky act who's going to play the trumpet for an hour.
This is it. This is it. I mean, certain acts would be the first to tell you. They would say, "Oh, mate, I can only go in the middle.
Yeah,
I'm a middle act."
Yeah.
Whereas some acts would say, not in an arrogant way, but they probably know deep down that they would have to be a closer. Because,
absolutely.
But it is something that we do put not just a great deal of thought. Tim, we put all the thought in.
Too much thought.
We put too much. It always become these powered on overthinking. Now, it's not just Rachel you can see at Always Be Comedy in the coming weeks and months. Tonight, 21st of October, we've got a work in progress with Bridget Christie. I actually think that may end up sold out. But what I mean is by the time this comes out, it might already be sold out. Tim, this Thursday, 23rd of October, oh my Lord, Jin Hao Lee, Sarah Keyworth, Elliot Steele. There's also the Chelsea launch night. We're weekly at the new venue in Chelsea at Trafalgar. Starts this Thursday, the 23rd of October, weekly on Thursdays thereafter. Please visit alwaysbecomedy.com/Chelsea for more of the Chelsea shows. And then, Tim, this Friday, back at the Tommyfield Mothership, Sam Nicoresti, Harriet Kemsley, Michael Odewale.
Man, that is really, if I may say so, really strong. Sam Nicoresti, she did her Always Be Comedy debut with us at the time of recording 2 nights ago and was unbelievably good, really brilliant. And then, if you've ever listened to us before, you know how brilliant we think Michael Odewale is. Harriet Kemsley, unbelievable, and obviously a star of Last One Laughing. It's a good gig, if I may say so.
Three heavyweights. I mean, we love, good Lord, we love Harriet Kemsley. Quite rightly a star across TV and a phenomenal stand-up. Michael Odewale, if who hasn't done as much telly as others, but Tim and we've been driving that Michael Odewale bandwagon for a few years now. Tim, I mean, we love him.
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know if we've talked about this. Weren't you delighted to see him at the Emmys with Team Charlie Brooker?
Absolutely ecstatic. A phenomenal comedian. Tim, great energy, lovely guy to be around.
Wonderful energy, so relaxed, a joy to be around. Tell you what, he is not powered by overthinking. He knows what's going on.
You're so right. I will die of a massive heart attack in about 20 minutes, whereas Michael will live until he's 312
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and will only tap out on his terms.
Absolutely. Get that on the poster.
Grim Reaper tapping on the shoulder, Michael going, not yet, and Grim Reaper going, yeah, fine, yeah, absolutely, I'll come back in a few years. Right then, from some beloved existing stars of Always Be Comedy to very much part of the future firmament of Always Be Comedy, here she is, the great Rachel Galvo. Rachel, straight off the bat, please talk us through the talk. This is hugely exciting. What you've achieved. I'm sorry, I sound like a parent here. What you've achieved in a short space of time it's unnatural, isn't it? I mean, it's well done.
Thank you so much. There is a massive, massive amount of imposter syndrome, which my mum tells me I shouldn't say out in public because I should just fake it till I make it. But she's a fucking bitch and she needs to shut up. I'm joking. She's my best friend. She's my best friend. But it is scary. I literally, the first time I did comedy was like a year and a half ago. So it is kind of crazy. And it's like, wow, someone's going to tap me on the shoulder and be like, hands behind your back, you're arrested. You've been, conning the industry and stealing money off people. But, I guess, yeah, it's crazy. Soho Theatre is a big one for me. 3 dates in Soho Theatre in January is like, I think since I moved to London and came here for acting school, I was like, wow, Soho Theatre is kind of a big job. A lot of my friends got jobs in Soho Theatre, kind of, and would get me free tickets to things. And now I'm like, wow, I wonder, will they be giving friends free tickets to me? That's crazy. And yeah, UK tour. I don't really know if I have a UK audience, but hey,
we're going to find out.
We'll find out. I think because I started on social media and like I'd say 95% of my followers, like my ancestry, were Irish. And so the UK tour or the Irish tour went quite well. And I think gave us false hope. And then, everyone like the promoters and PR are like, yeah, money makes the world go round. Let's do UK. I'm not sure that they're aware that it doesn't really translate, but hey ho.
I think hang on, I know you two have already had the Irish loving before the show.
We go to the same supermarket, James. So
I mean, I'm happy for the two of you. I've never felt more left out as the most English person who's ever lived. But side note, I'm so English that my granddad's surname Hodgson means son of a pig. There you go.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That makes
Sorry.
sense.
Sorry for the bragging early doors. my gran used to take great delight in telling me that little nugget of wisdom. So I say this with love in my heart.
Yeah. Oh God, here we go. He's going to offend us.
I'm going to offend both of you.
God.
And any of our Irish listeners. But no, we see this firsthand. We've seen it with say we've known Aisling since the night launched. I've known her for nearly 15 years. We see it with Joe McAnally. Please talk us through Irish. This feels like racism. Irish people are wonderfully warm and supportive, and they really get behind their guys. Can you talk us through that? Because that is it's a great thing.
Well, I think, James, not to bring it up, but probably, 800 years of being attacked by your people, kind of, not to kind of start 10 a.m. in the morning with this, but I think we had to come together and we have to support each other. And comedy is the same. Comedy is the same as war in many ways. You don't really know what's going to happen. You're kind of out there on your own. I haven't really thought about that kind of metaphor at all. So maybe cut that. I don't know much about war, but yeah, I think it's just like, go on, you can do it, go out there. We've come from starving, famine, fighting each other. And now here you are, and there's a possibility for you to be, you are a star, John McNally, Aisling B, and we couldn't be prouder. We couldn't be prouder. We're like, despite everything, despite all those English fuckers and sons of pigs, look at you thrive, you little angel.
Just a reminder, Rachel is touring the UK. It's available. No, I tell you what,
Shit.
Rachel, when I went to, you go to school in England, and obviously you're taught that history teaches you that we're always the good guys, right? We're in every conflict, we are correct, basically. And then I watched The Wind That Shakes the Barley, the Ken Loach film.
Oh my God, my granddad's favorite movie.
Oh my God. And I'm watching it and you go, oh, oh right, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
That was a wake up watching
sure,
that movie.
sure. And you know what's so funny because for we have to study history from 12 to 15, and our whole massive like 600-page book is just all about the English and how you guys fucked us over. I don't want to say you guys, like obviously it's not you personally, James. I don't know if it was like, whatever, an ancestor. But yeah, it is funny how much they don't know. I actually was dating someone that was like English, 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 and went away to their family home that's very posh. And the mother was like, this is actually truffle land that we're on right now. And I was like, oh, amazing. That's so cool. I'm actually a truffle pig, so I'll snuff those out. And it's just so funny how much they didn't know. And like a lot of my humor is based around like, I was making jokes when they'd serve me potatoes and stuff, and they just hadn't a clue. So I set her some homework. The day I left, I said, you should watch The Wind That Shakes the Barley and the Kneecap movie. And I haven't heard from them since. But anyway, yeah. It is crazy.
That is a fucking righteous movie. It's such a good film.
The Kneecap one, or When the Shakes the
No,
Barley?
I need to see. Tim's mentioned the Kneecap movie. When the Shakes the Barley. Do I need to watch the Kneecap
James,
movie?
you have to see the Kneecap movie. I went to see them live last week.
It's on. I think it's on Prime Video, isn't it? It's sort of like inexcusable that I've not
is.
seen it.
And also you don't even have to be Irish to enjoy it. People love it.
Okay. How were they last week?
Scary. Like they were amazing, but it was like very intense. A lot of mosh pits, a lot of like screaming men, but super. Oh, they were in Wembley Arena in London, and again, it was that patriotic thing of there's 12,000 Irish affiliated people here who are just really happy for you and really, proud of what you're doing. Of course, there are the terrorism charges.
Dropped this week.
Yeah, dropped. Of course, rightfully so.
Bit topical there.
It was amazing. It was really, really amazing. Yeah.
Does it? This is for you as well, I suppose, Tim. Does it boil your piss when people that are English pretend to be Irish? People say things like, "Yeah, I'm like a thick Cockney accent. Yeah, I'm Irish," and you go, "Are you really?" And it's like, "Yeah, my great granddad once had a Guinness or whatever." Do you know what I mean by that?
Well, for me, it's tricky because I sound very English, I think, but I have an Irish passport. I can go get it, but like my entire country is based in Dublin, essentially. But
sorry, hang on, that wasn't a dig at you, Tim.
No. But like, I'm sure.
You go get it, James.
Imagine if it was.
I'm sure for some people I sound like that, so like I feel like I can't really have a go. But yeah, of course, I find it very annoying. Yeah,
it pisses me off more when Americans do it.
Yes, I've been to America a few times with work when I used to have a proper job. And you get it more over there, don't you?
Yeah, because they're just like they really see Irish people as like diddly eye leprechauns, like that movie that what is that? What's the girl? What's the ginger girl? And she did Irish Wish. She's really Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay Lohan did that movie, The Irish Wish, and truly that is how Americans see Irish people, like very diddly eye, lots of witches living in the mountains, casting spells. And so it pissed me off more when Americans say it. When English people say it and they actually give an explanation about how they're connected to Ireland, I'm like, that's so cool that you want to be associated with Ireland. I honestly, that's like I am proud of the fact that they want to be associated with Ireland. Because for many years, many people did not want to be associated with Ireland. So it's cool now that we're kind of a hot topic.
I'm going to show my age here. That's where I really saw it. 1994 World Cup. We didn't qualify. Ireland qualified. And the amount of people that suddenly, oh no, I'm Irish, so I'm surprised. What? It's the first I've heard of it. What are you on about?
Yeah. Ireland's massive right now. Look, Fontaine's DC massive, Kneecap massive.
Well, I went to the House of Guinness premiere last week, and oh my God, I've never been prouder. I was like, there's so many famous. I walked past Paul Mescal on the stairs, and I was like, oh God, we're the same. Me and you, Paul. Me and you, we're both from Ireland. He did not stop and talk to me, but I'm sure he's busy.
I'm just going to get my St. George and give it a wave. I've not. In fact, you know what, Rachel? I've not had it out since I went to the march, so it'd be nice to bit of fun, just bit of self-deprecation, bit of fun. Hey, no one gets hurt with that joke. That's aimed at me, squarely at me. Don't you worry about that. Now, please talk us through. This isn't the publicist reminding me. I promise you. Please talk us through Shite Feminist.
Okay. Well, For 15 years of my life, was raised in an all-girls Irish private Catholic convent school with nuns. And we thought that was normal in the community I was brought up in. And then I left school. I actually went and studied business for 4 years because, again, that's what you're supposed to do. And then I went to drama school in London, and I realized once I had escaped the bubble that that was all a bit weird, and all the kind of culty stuff we were doing was a bit weird, and it was rife for a comedy show and so many funny stories in it. It started with a project in drama school. We had to write a one-woman show. I never intended to be a stand-up comedian. So I wrote this one-woman show about my experience with the nuns and how I was just like a little, musical theater kid feeling a bit trapped in this, uniform and in the chapel and in a Holy Communion dress. And I wrote a show about it, and then I really loved doing it. And ever since I've been performing it around Ireland and the UK, which is crazy. So it's basically about how I believe. We were reading a lot about feminism in drama school, and it's basically how I believe that the kind of Catholic community, specifically in those stricter all girls nunnery schools, doesn't really make for great feminists, even though, yes, God, I sound very opinionated. I promise it's funny.
No, well, to take it towards Funny Town, I'm going to blow some smoke here. You say you had no intention of being a comedian. You are such a comedian. The funny falls off you. You're clearly such a natural. I don't think you had any choice, dude. This was always going to happen.
Serious? Oh my God, I just don't think. Do you know what it is? And I know I'm supposed to be being funny on this comedy podcast, but I think, like, when I was a kid, I was very much like, everybody look at me, even if we're on holidays, put the spotlight on me by the pool and I'll do Les Miserables from start to finish. Very much like bosh, bosh, bosh. And then in the school that I went to, that wasn't very, like, really nurtured, and I went quite quiet, I believe. Or I just wasn't like me, I wasn't really myself. And so I kind of, just being a comedian wasn't an option where I came from. It just wasn't a thing, I don't think, it was, I was going to be, I don't know, an accountant. I don't know.
So what inspired you? What I mean by this is, had you seen other people putting stuff on the socials and thinking, I can do that?
Yeah, it was honestly because I was in acting school, and a vulnerable moment, no agent wanted me. I was like, oh, this is going to be so easy. I'm just going to go get training and everyone's going to lap me up because my mum says I'm the most talented person in the UK and Ireland. That actually did not come to fruition, and I was shocked and horrified. So then I saw people getting noticed from TikTok, and I was like, hey, maybe I should just start posting on TikTok. It was to get noticed for, like, acting jobs. But then I started doing vlogs and voiceovers about how difficult it is to be, an unemployed actor. And people started saying, you're kind of funny. And then I was like, oh God, first of all, thank you, I know. And second of all, first of all, how patronizing for you to comment that, something I already know, sir. And second of all, yeah, I actually wrote a comedy show in drama school. So maybe I should post a clip of this. And then I did. And people were like, oh my God, you need to bring this comedy show to Dublin. And then it sold out in like 60 seconds.
Jesus, Rachel.
I know.
Now,
so was your first time doing comedy, was it like the full show?
Correct. So it was very bad.
It was
very bad because I was like, oh my God, people tell me I'm naturally funny. I just wrote this show. And the first time, like, guys, my first time doing a club was like a couple months ago, after I had done like an Irish tour and sold to like 10,000 people. So I was like, this is going to be so easy. Toilet flush, poo sound. No one laughed. Because I was used to... We need to get Galvo down at... we need to get Galvatron at Always Be Comedy. I would Galvatron
3000, of course.
Absolutely. You had Jen Brister on last night. I'm such a massive fan.
Oh, lovely. Yes.
Fan. I think she's so cool. But so I really had to work backwards. When I got signed by my agent in London, they were like, great, you're doing all these clubs all across in back arses of nowhere in the UK. And the first one was a shock. And then I was like, okay, maybe these 70-year-old men in the middle of nowhere of England aren't the same as my 30, 40, 50-year-old women in Ireland who come to see me, specifically me. And maybe I should adapt my bits for that audience. And it's been a really great learning experience to learn that, hey, maybe not everyone loves me.
Well, this is true. Tim and I were talking about this on Friday. some acts who polarize a room are the ones that build up the audience, because for every one person that's like this, what is going on, there might be 5 people like dying with laughter, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's my thing. Like, my show is really targeted towards women, because I have a thing about, obviously it's changed a lot, but for a long, long time, it was a male dominated industry. And I think even sometimes when female comedians started coming into it, they would try and make it more like digestible for everyone. Whereas I'm like, no, fuck this. This is just for my girls. So even if I'm in a room of 100 people and there's, 5 women, if they're pissing themselves at my bit on, aloe vera scented nighttime maxi pads, then I'm having a good time. I'm having a great time, and let's go for drinks after,
So your live shows, Tim, I'm thinking De Swart, I'm thinking McAnally, I'm thinking Catherine Ryan when I ask this.
Yeah,
is it like party time? Like people turning
100%, 100%. I actually made the mistake. No, it wasn't a mistake, but in my poster for my first Irish show, I had a bottle of Moët. And then, of course, Moët started sending lots and lots of bottles. And I was like, oh, it'd be so funny if it was my bit to walk on with a bottle of Moët and drink it throughout the show. Then, of course, I would not be remembering what I did during the show. So yeah, it was definitely party time. I used to shake up the bottle and spray it over the audience. Yeah, it was definitely like drinking from people's cups and where are we all going out after. I used to say the name of the club that we were all going to before I left the stage. And then, the audiences got a little bigger. Like Olympia was a little bigger than that. So I couldn't really invite that many people to our club. But yeah.
So I know that I think it's the Scotsman have prayed. They picked out your charisma, right? Is that something? Is that innate, or is that learned? That sort of that presence.
I think it's just me. I think, and I did squash it for a lot of years in that strict school. I think I'm just being myself. Yeah, I think I am being myself. I mean, I was just being myself online, and that's what people. And I was being myself with not just the comedy, but I would talk about a lot about mental health, and I think that's what kind of brought my audience to me, because in Ireland specifically, we just don't talk about that stuff. We really don't. Even being on medication for mental health is something I was very candid about, and I think people found it kind of refreshing. And then I was like, hey, I also have some jokes.
I think what you've got is, I'm going to say this. I think some people think, not just in comedy, in the wider world. I'm thinking of one person in particular. They think that mental health, that's the thing to talk about now. That'll get me their likes or what have you. Whereas I think what you've got is that authenticity, and I wonder if that's one of the reasons why the videos were translating well. They know it's not bullshit. They know. I think audiences have got a better. Alan Carr says this in his first book. Audiences have got a better inbuilt bullshit detector than a lot of people realize.
100%, 100%. People know when, and I think at the beginning, certain social media agencies and stuff or brands were coming on to me and saying, what's your niche? Because you're talking about mental health here, then you're talking about comedy here, talking about acting school here, you're doing baking videos here. Choose one and do something. And I was like, no, it's just my life and all the things I enjoy doing. And I think that was the authentic part for me and what audiences actually enjoyed. It wasn't amazing for, brands couldn't quite pin me down or agents or anything, but I didn't really care. I was just kind of doing my thing.
So you say that the agent thing didn't happen with the acting. So you're thinking, I'll get snapped up. There'll be me and Emma Thompson, her in a headlock.
Yeah, like me, Olivia Colman, Meryl Streep will be having drinks within 6 months. Obviously, we'll be casting the same movie. I was delusional. I talk about this in my show. I had the most supportive mother in the world, and I love her to bits. But, she was the type of mother to say, you will succeed at anything you set your mind to, which isn't fucking true. So it was I was very, very, very delusional for many years until I was thrust out into the real world,
I'll tell you what, though, your mum's had the last laugh, hasn't she?
Well, I'm still not having drinks with Olivia Colman, James, so no.
Tim, bring her in. Come on, Olivia.
And here she is.
What's the tea that's big in Ireland? Is it Barry's?
Yeah.
So I've heard of certain Irish people. They will take Barry's with them when they're overseas.
Yes.
To remind them of home. the Barry's moment or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Is there anything? This is such an English question I'm asking here. Is that when you're going to be on tour? Is there anything you will have on tour with you for that to remind you of Ireland? You know, to take Ireland on the road, if you like.
Family, like probably my mum or my sister. Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah, my mum, my sister, or my best friend, all actually surprisingly happen to be Irish. And they my best friend, my best friends will not talk about comedy or any successes whatsoever. And that's what I absolutely love about them. You know, I'll come home at night and they'll see from online that, like, you know, the Christmas show sold out in whatever, a couple of minutes or whatever. But I'll never say that, and they won't talk about it, and we won't talk about it. And that's what I like. And they'll just, you know, they'll be like, oh, you think you're so important. And that's what I love. And it's the classic Irish humor of taking the piss out of you. And that's the Irishness I bring around with me on tour, you know?
Tim, it's the self-deprecation, isn't it?
It is.
The self-deprecation. Have
You have a tip?
any of the nuns been to see the show?
Oh my God, do I have a story for you? Do I have a story for you? Okay. I don't know to talk about this. Okay, so
I feel like David Letterman.
When I had started out. What did you say?
I feel like David Letterman.
Okay.
I believe some nuns came to see your show.
Any of the nuns. Basically, when I had started out, like last year, and the Fringe sold out quickly, and my first two shows that I put out because the social media had sold quickly, I think my old school had seen, oh, this girl's a bit of a hot topic and she has a young following who it's translating to sales. We have a charity event. It would be so cool and woke of us to have like a female comedian in, because women can make people laugh. And hey, one of our own, that's even better. They didn't know that the show was shitting all over the school. So I was like, yeah, this is such a power move for me. I'm going to go in there and, like, I don't care what anyone thinks because I'm funny and I'll just fight through it. That was extremely difficult. I was in a parish hall with carpets, and there was two very famous rugby players framed either side of me. It was like the Father, Son, and I was supposed to be the Holy Spirit. It was the looks, and some of them used to be friends with my granny. Do you know what I mean? Who went to the same school. Like, they know exactly who I am. They know where I live. That's what Dublin is. That's what the school is. And it was the hardest gig of my life. There was no laughter except my own. I had to start doing that thing where I started laughing at my own jokes to show, like, that's the end of the joke there. And I was talking about, you know, like the fact that in a Holy Communion, why are we dressing like brides? Like, we should have a garter on our upper left thigh. And Father Michael ripped it off with his teeth because, like, you know, we're whoring ourselves out to Jesus at the age of 7. I was very, very critical of Catholicism. And yeah, they were absolutely horrified. And I scuttered out of there right after. Carpets as well, like, absolutely not. Carpets. Jesus Christ.
That feeling of just needing to get the fuck out of there.
Oh my God.
It's incomparable, isn't it?
It was so funny as well because they had seen, like, they had invited me in because, you know, we seen you on the radio and the newspaper and the TV, and oh my God, one of our own is doing so well. You know, what's it all about? And just their faces were like, oh my God, is this fucking story about us? You know, I think from Euphoria, like, is this play about me? And it was, and they really were not happy about it.
Now, I imagine, I don't know the answer to this. I'm sort of a loaded question. Surely the success has in turn led to acting doors being opened that were not previously open pre-mega fame.
The agent has helped, like an incredible agency that I'm very happy with. And they get me some acting jobs, but also I'm like, wow, maybe I'm not actually good at acting, you know? You know, when you do a self-tape, you're like, that's absolutely dog shite. So just, I don't think it's like good enough to just be like, I wrote a show and possibly can tell a few jokes, and now I think I can go and act alongside Olivia Colman. So I think I will text my old acting teacher and ask for some acting classes.
Tim and I have got pals through comedy who they started doing the socials like yourself, and then let's say they're walking to the local shop and somebody walks past them and goes, you're the person from the video. In fact, Mo Gilligan tells a story. He was doing the different people in a nightclub. I think he was working in a shoe shop or in a sports shop or something. Anyway, the next day, you're the guy that does the club videos. Did you have you had that sort of thing, Rachel? And was that the sort of moment where you thought, oh, hang on a minute, this is breakthrough?
It happens a lot in Dublin just because a lot of my audience are Irish, but it doesn't it'll happen in London, but they turn out to be Irish, or have an Irish connection. But in Ireland, I remember that like one of the first times that happened is I had come home last year and I was going for dinner with my godmother, and it was one of these really cool restaurants. It's called Host in Ranelagh, and it's literally seats about 30 people, and you have to share tables with everyone. And I was sat up there with my godmother, and I was like, and then I thought I was pregnant because I hadn't got my period and this and that. And at the end of the meal, the girl who was sharing the table with us turns to me and she goes, "I'm so sorry. You're you, Rachel Galvo. I'm a big fan." And I was like, "Oh, great. Well, you can just get on Toddle Life then and just explain my whole talk there." That was probably the first time where I was like, oh God, maybe I should start wearing makeup out in public or something,
Rachel, how are you finding doing like the shorter sets in the clubs and stuff?
Absolutely loving it. I'm loving it because it's just all the best bits, isn't it? The first one was a complete and utter shock. And I think the first one I thought, great, I'll just cut, 50, 20 minutes out of my current show, and didn't really realize that you have to, these people have been drinking. It's later at night. You have to grab them by the throat and tell them your joke, So I have adapted and learned. I just came back from Cardiff. I was doing 2 nights at the Glee this weekend, and I absolutely loved it. It was brilliant. It was such a buzz. It was like getting on a roller coaster. I've been loving it.
So was that a mixed bill, or was that your solo?
It was a mixed bill. Yeah, 20 minutes. It was really great. And something else that's really nice is meeting other comedians, because for the first year I was out on my own, not knowing anyone, and just in these dressing rooms alone, being like, what the hell am I doing here? Can I pull the fire alarm? Is it too late? And it was absolutely terrifying. Whereas now it's like, oh gosh, I'm with these other people who have to do the exact same thing as me tonight, and they understand how it feels when it goes badly, and they understand how it feels when it goes amazingly. And they're just nice, normal people. I think I always stressed as well that comedians would be like absolutely hilarious all the time, and I was too scared to talk to them in case I couldn't keep up. But like a lot of them are not like that interesting in a good way.
You just want to have a normal conversation.
Yeah. They're like, how did you get here? What are you eating? And I'm like, yeah, I can absolutely engage in this conversation 100%.
Because it can actually be quite irritating if someone's just on.
Joke,
you know what I mean?
Joke. Yeah. Oh my God. Like, are you being genuine right now? Can I share that I'm nervous? Yeah, that's not, yeah.
Michael Palin wrote about meeting Eric Morecambe at a BBC function, and Michael Palin just wants to have a normal conversation, and Eric's being Eric. And he says in his diary, it's actually quite irritating because you sometimes just want a human connection,
Yeah. And I kind of want to I want to save my energy for those, power 20 minutes that you put your whole life into. So you're kind of I'm very boring backstage. I'm very boring after the fact. Like, I think, some people expect you to kind of hang around and get drunk a little bit. Whereas I'm kind of like, we got to do this again tomorrow, guys. let's not pass out in an alley in Oxford. But anyway,
Rachel, you're curating your dream gig. Do you have any pre-gig rituals?
My pre-gig rituals at the beginning were so funny. They were like, an actor prepares, I need an hour to myself to stretch and do the National Theatre actor warm-ups. And then I was like, oh bitch, you're not a fucking actor, okay? You're drinking a bottle of Moët on stage. I think that started when I did, 28 shows in Edinburgh. I was like, this is not sustainable. And I was also late. I would like run up with not enough time, and you don't really have a dressing room and stuff. And then I realized I used to write out my whole show right before to make sure I would hit all the points. And then I realized an audience can tell if you're super uptight and super like, am I remembering to hit all these points? And I need to just start trusting myself that I knew it. So my pre-show ritual is just a vodka soda lime.
Huh? A vodka soda lime. I did not see that come in.
Did you not?
I was waiting for tap water.
Oh, no, I do. Well, yeah, again, 28 shows in Edinburgh. I was like, I can't do this every night because I'm like, it's like a crutch. And that's not, I don't want to start like relying on, albeit just one vodka soda lime, it's not a good thing to do. So it was just soda lime, and then I would pretend that there was vodka in it. And I'd be like, oh, that's a strong one.
That's where the acting comes in.
100%.
You hear that, Olivia?
Livy, babes, call me.
Call me. Who would MC the gig?
Well, in my dream scenario, it would be Paddington Bear. Because
warm, likable.
likable, just totally. He's totally straight, isn't it? He's very literal, and I mean, I just think he's so charming and endearing, and he'd be quite nice about all the acts. And he wouldn't, when he has to do the house rules as well, and he has to be like, guys, come on now. And I think he'd actually be the type of person you'd respect. And he doesn't. I'm like not. Obviously, there are comedians that are very funny that go out and shit all over the crowd. But in my gig, I want it to be a nice, warm experience. And he's like, okay, maybe not with the phones. I just think he's hilarious. That part in he's actually a close friend of mine. I'm promoting some of his stuff. But that part in the first movie where he's going on the tube for the first time and it says dogs must be carried. And then he goes off and he takes someone's chihuahua. And I just thought that was absolutely genius. And then there's that part with Hugh Grant when Hugh Grant's a famous actor. Sorry, I know Paddington's a niche movie, so if you can't keep up, just let me know. And he's like, oh yeah, you used to be a famous actor, now you do commercials for dog food. And Hugh Grant says, well, man's got to eat. And he says, what dog food? And the crowd goes wild. Yeah. I think that would be a nice MC. Let me just preface that this will be the only male presenting character from here on out in my gig.
Okay, it's a lovely choice. Tell you what though, I've got two girls. We went to go see, we look all of Paddington, obviously. The third movie, when the spider goes on Hugh Bonneville's face, may I just say that in the Beckenham Odeon where we were, that was the equivalent of the face hugger from the first Alien movie. And kids were, I've never heard pandemonium like it in a cinema.
Really?
Yeah, and I've asked other mums and dads, and they had a similar experience in their cinemas where they saw
I did think it was a darker movie. Like it was... and the poor aunt, the aunt gone missing and everything. And Olivia Colman, again, back to Livy, my good friend. I'm just promoting all her movies.
Playing a nun.
Dark character.
Yes.
Dark character. And there was the weird musical number, but hey, I'm not, Paddington is, it's actually, this is a lovely full circle moment. I actually end the night with Paddington after my dream gig. So we'll leave it there.
Perfect. I nearly cracked a really bad bear. No, that's not even. Who would open the gig?
Megan Stalter. Meg Stalter from Lena Dunham's Too Much?
Yes.
Amazing.
Completely polarizing, completely like Marmite. You either get her or you don't. And the people that don't get her, I hope will leave. Because I just think she is. And also, even if the people that aren't necessarily getting her but are open to the nice stay, amazing. Because she is always in a character, isn't she? She's always on. She's absolutely hilarious. Like when she was presenting at the VMAs and stuff, and she keeps going no matter what. She keeps going. At the VMAs, I don't think not one person laughed at her jokes, and she was doing what I had to do for the nuns and giggle at herself. And I just respect it so much. And she hasn't changed herself even after horrific hate comments and all these people saying she's not funny, because she clearly is doing something right, because she's being cast left, right, and center. And
also that gig, that's a tough. I think celebrities at those sorts of gigs used to give it up a lot more than they do these days.
Yeah. Well, no one wants to do it anymore, right? Who was the guy that presented the Golden Globes or something a few years ago? And
Joe Coy.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No one wants to do it. Nikki Glaser did very well. Very well.
She's phenomenal.
Amazing, isn't she? She's so fucking cool. Meg Stalter, yeah.
That's a great choice. And also, I'm with you, a real soft spot for the dude that is going to put that tin hat on and just keep going.
100%. Like, I'm open to this. Okay, maybe it's not my thing, but hey, I think it really like sets the tone for the night of maybe not everything is going to be, dick jokes, and I'm okay with that. Maybe it's not the comedy that I'm used to, but let's go for it. I'm in for the long run.
Who middles?
Kat Cohen.
Amazing.
Yeah, I love Kat Cohen. She, when I was writing my show and my final year project, I studied her Netflix special a lot. I think she's hilarious. I very much resonate with her song, "Boys Never Wanted to Kiss Me, so now I do comedy." And I was like, oh my God, wow, this is my life. So I think she's hilarious. I love the bit of music. It wakes people up. Again, an unapologetic woman. That is kind of the through theme for my gig.
Timo, you're a huge fan, aren't you?
I think Kat Cohen is just like unbelievable. Such like insane star quality. What's really interesting about his lineup is they're both now like turning up in more and more like high profile things.
Completely.
It's like Kat Cohen starting to do films. Meg Stalter, obviously, Hacks is gigantic.
Yeah, and
So
Kat was
yeah.
in Ravens and stuff. Like she was in Only Murders. We actually have the exact
Oh.
same agents, and they were like, "Yeah, come and tried to introduce me to her at the Edinburgh Fringe." And I've met her twice in Soho Theatre and Edinburgh Fringe, and I've never said anything to her. And she's like, "Hey, how are you?" And I'm literally like, I think she thinks I don't speak English or something. I don't even know because I'm in awe of her. Like I think she's so cool. Like I studied her. I shouldn't be talking to you, ma'am. So I just bow on one knee and then I crawl away.
Oh, mate, bless you.
I know, I know. It's the imposter syndrome, James. I need to get over it.
Get over the imposter syndrome. You've got
Yeah.
the funny bones, dude.
Thank you.
But Tim, we've experienced this before, where if you're not careful, the person might think that you don't like them. You know, if you go that quiet, and it's actually because you're a fan. You know.
Well, do you know, I've definitely gone the other way and gone up to a few people before and been like, I'm a massive fan. And that really didn't go down well because they're like, you get away from me. You're not one of us. That definitely didn't go down well. And then another comedian pulled me aside and was like, yeah, you're not supposed to do that. But I don't know. Like, I don't really know the rules. I feel like it's like, entering the royal family. Do I curtsy or do I not? What do I do? What do you do?
Oh, so I've not brought this up for a while. There's a podcast, Fly on the Wall, David Spade, Dana Carvey, and their theory is that if you bump into someone that you're a mega fan, bring up something random. So rather than just like love bombing, and rather than going, so they both say, rather than going, oh my God, I'm a huge fan, which obviously, understandable. If you pick out maybe what your favourite thing is, like take a beat, and if you go, I remember I interviewed Jack Black, just sorry for the name drop there, but I interviewed Jack Black, and I once asked him, what's the movie that you love that didn't get the love that you felt? And like that, he went Polka King straight away. And so maybe if you bump into
They're sick of talking about all that stuff, and they're like, "Yeah, I know, I'm doing well. I have a Netflix special that's #1, bitch."
So if you went, I love X, whatever that random thing might be, then they go, oh, now I know this person's a fan.
Okay.
Easier
But do they
said than
want to
done.
talk to a fan? No.
Depends on the
Very awkward when you get introduced as kind of I'm a fan, and then you have like gigs together. It's very awkward.
I mean, we've seen that, Tim, haven't we? I mean, we've done it ourselves where we've had someone down that we love, and Stuart Lee, Tim and I are such huge fans. You know what? I think with Stu, Tim, that's one. I could be wrong. I think we've got the balance just about right.
Oh, I think we get on. Yeah.
What I mean is, he knows that we love him, but he's never thought about calling the police.
Oh, well, I haven't really quite reached that level yet. Yeah.
Right, okay. Who closes this behemoth?
We've already mentioned her, Aisling B. I have to see an Irish lady in there. I'm a massive, massive fan. She was probably my first experience of seeing like an Irish woman up on stage on my TV, and I was like, that's fucking class. She was talking about my favorite bit of hers is she was like, I'm Irish, so I speak fast, but I also speak particularly fast because I grew up on a farm and no one was around, and the only people to talk to were the cars passing by. She'd be, hey, how are you? And she just does it so well, like so well. And she's just unapologetically herself, and she has these moments of like absolute like craziness where she turns into some sort of little, Stranger Things monster, and I love it. I absolutely love it, especially towards the end of the night. They've had a few drinks. Again, like I said, she grabs you by the neck and throws you against the wall and tells you her joke, and I love it.
She is dynamite, absolute dynamite. And we're talking about charisma and presence. From the nanosecond that first big toe touches the stage, fucking hell, whatever it is, she has got the magical it.
Bitch. Yeah.
Have you met Aisling and got to convey this?
I've never met her. Oh my God.
You know what? I mean, it's quite a northern expression, this. I think she'd be chuffed to bits to know this. I think it's such
I am such a massive fan. This is what I go like, guys. I go like, okay, I need to actually be cooler. I hope we work together someday.
Tell you what, and funny just falls off her, doesn't it?
She's
so
just
funny.
so naturally, she doesn't even try, and she's just so charming. And you'd love to like sit in a pub, a cozy pub, and just have pints and fucking listen to her stories all evening and chat with her, wouldn't you? But you also feel, she could be authentic and she could be vulnerable as well. And if you needed to tell her, my dog just passed away, she'd be understanding of that. She wouldn't be ripping the piss out of you.
look, I've had 3 coffees and I've been up for hours, so I'm trying to burst in tears. She's a true friend. She's very loyal.
Yeah, I can so imagine because I know her address and I watch her through the window. I know everything about her.
Someone's recycling the plastics, I see. Your bin men don't arrive till Thursdays. So. That's great. That's great. Who now has there been an incident that you would somehow love to replicate at this gig?
When I was doing the Bill Murray back in June, or it was maybe one of the July dates, I was doing my show, and a part of in my show I talk about how I was a class clown, but I wasn't necessarily like a stereotypical, take your willy out and chase people around the yard with it. I was a very curated act, and I used to perform the whole of One Day More from Les Miserables in full costume. And sometimes when you're doing a comedy show, you're like, people don't believe this, but it's true. I started singing, and this girl in the crowd started singing with me. And I was like, what the hell? And then she stood up. I had done Les Miserables with her in 2014.
No.
And my dream gig is for some sort of flash mob to happen where every cast member from that 2014 gig starts standing up in the audience and singing all 9 parts of the harmony so that I can convince people that it actually happened. And then perhaps I have the costume and the beard with me at that time. And we could just, instead of finishing the gig, just reenact Les Miserables.
Tim, are you thinking Edinburgh 2027?
Oh, no, Edinburgh 2026. Let's get sorted straight away.
Fucking stop resting on your laurels. Get off your ass. Are you joking? We have time. I actually worked with this guy and he was like, I think you need to incorporate more of this musical theater into you. And I was like, oh, I don't know how, if my audience would like that. But hey, maybe my audience are wrong.
Well, Joel Dommett did a show where it's him sort of like getting the band back together, isn't it, Tim? Finding Emo. That was it, wasn't it?
Finding Emo, yeah.
He was in an emo band when he was younger. And then the twist at the end is semi getting the band back together, basically. So that
I did present something to my promoters for next Edinburgh where I was like, I think I should. I'm obviously clearly bitter about the fact that I'm not on the West End. And my whole life I have done musicals and trained to be on the West End, and it hasn't happened. Instead, I'm a clown, and that's fine. But I think it would be funny to like do a comedy show to all the parts I've played before, and I kind of play every single part I've played in amateur musicals before. And I think that would be a kind of a dream of mine. I'm not sure anyone would come. And so they were like, yeah, maybe. Can you just write a second comedy show though?
I think sounds great. I think sneak a song in next show.
Yeah.
I think Tim's right.
Do a Cat Cohen.
One song, maybe I'll sneak. Yeah. I actually do have one about trying bum stuff for the first time, but I don't know if that's
Get the nuns in for that. Come on,
guys.
Yeah.
I do have a few songs up my sleeve, guys. Actually, how much time do you have? I actually do have my accordion right here.
Hang on, here we go. Let's do this. I feel like we're calling each other's bluff here.
No, I don't. I only have a few chords in the piano, but hey, maybe I'll call up some. Harpist would be nice.
Yeah, that'd be lovely. Yeah.
Right, wouldn't it? Yeah, it's the balance though. Is this still comedy or is this just a one-woman musical and you asked us to pay money pretending you're a comedian? I'll figure it out.
Do both, mate.
Do both, yeah.
Look at Victoria Wood. I mean, that was pure comedy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Has there been an incident that must not happen at this gig?
I'm trying to look. Do you know what? Because I've never had, touch wood, a horror experience, because of course I've had gigs that have gone badly and difficult audience members and stuff. When I did my first London show, it was in Leicester Square Theatre. It was a sold out Leicester Square Theatre, and I had been gifted this beautiful, are you okay?
Sorry, your first gig in London, having been doing comedy 18 months,
no,
was
having
it
been doing
sold out
comedy like 6 months.
Mate.
No, it's not. It was bad.
No,
it was bad, James. It was so bad.
Look, as I say, I have 2 daughters. For a split second there, I had a third. I was.
I don't like my dad very much. So I'm joking. I love my dad. Sorry. I love my dad. Actually, bless him.
That is like my 10-year-old has not played much football, and she went training. She's done like 2 training sessions, and they've bumped her up to the team because she's good. honestly,
Oh my God.
that what you described there, I was from the sidelines. I was like, "You lift me up." So I think park the imposter syndrome and revel in the achievement.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it
Anyway,
was.
sorry. Back to. I'm so sorry. I let my
No, that was really so nice of
enthusiasm.
you. I think, like, yeah, I think I don't. Everyone's like, how were those things? Or I think the biggest thing I did was the Olympia. I sold out the Olympia Theatre in May last year in Dublin, which
What?
is like 1,200 people, and people are like,
What?
"How did it feel? How did it feel?" But I was just black out in the middle of it. Like I really dissociated because I was like, "Oh fuck, this is crazy." Anyway, when I did my first Leicester Square Theatre show, I was given this beautiful, beautiful dress from this department store called Brown Thomas in Ireland. It was like an 800 pound dress, right? Very beautiful, and it was white. And I was in the dressing room, and everyone was there and having champagne and all. And I was like, I don't feel very well. 5 minute call, 5 minute call, and I had got my period. And we were in Leicester Square Theatre, and I was like, I can't go out on stage. I cannot go out on stage because this is a massive white dress and 400 people will see me, and I'm already not feeling well and I'm feeling faint. And the rep from Live Nation, who I was with at the time, panicked and he was like, I'll go to the shop, I'll go to the shop. And he starts sprinting around Leicester Square Theatre, and he comes back like with 3 minutes to showtime with a bag of every single size pad and tampon, wet wipes, nappies, everything. I was like, what do you think I am? Do you think I'm about to give birth? Like it was very funny. But anyway, it was all sorted and that's fine. But that panic right before a big show wasn't amazing. Second of all, when I was in Edinburgh Fringe.
That, by the way, that's not conducive to playing a gig, is it? That level of panic.
No, it is. It's just like that. That's not even. I was trying to think like, are there jokes I can make, but also people will just be horrified if there's like fucking blood everywhere. This is not going to be good. This is not going to be good. And the beautiful fucking dress, Jesus Christ. But yeah, it was not. I was defo stressing, but. It went first year I did Edinburgh last year. I did like 14 nights, and I was shy because this is my first time doing a comedy show. And of course, the first time you do a full hour, it should be, of course, at the Edinburgh Fringe 14 nights in a row. Take it from me. And it was obviously amazing. And I really was going in on, men in the crowd. And this gorgeous little girl had brought her boyfriend. And I think he maybe was around 17 years of age. And he was sat in the front row in this tiny room that I had in Edinburgh. And he had all his shopping bags, and he was in a full like Nike tracksuit. And he was like lying almost like this on the couch with his legs stuck out onto the stage. Like he could have been half asleep. Anyway, I decided to target him for the show. And he was not having any of it. And every time I made a joke about him, he'd be like, shut the fuck up. And that that kind of stuff. And usually if he was a full-grown man or a woman, I would go into it. But I am so scared of teenage boys. I'm so scared of teenage boys in their full Nike tracksuits on their dirt bikes. Like I'm so scared. So I did the rest of the show like absolutely apologizing to him. After the show, the girl messaged me and she was like, I'm so sorry. We flew all the way from Ireland to see this. I'm a big fan. I don't know why he was acting like that. I don't even know if they're still together. Isn't that crazy?
That is, oh my God.
Yeah. He really set the tone for the show, and it was a bad tone.
What a dick as well, because that is such FU energy to do that, isn't it?
Oh, sorry, that's my iPad. Sorry, because sorry, that's my girlfriend there. Yeah, I think usually the men that come to my show know what they're coming to, and they're very open to it and have a good sense of humor. I do think when you're a teenage boy, you're not quite maybe secure in yourself enough yet to be, and when you're being made fun of, you think it's an attack rather than a let's all laugh together about stuff. And maybe that was that kind of thing. I don't think he was a dick. I think he was a young boy, a young insecure man. But fuck yeah, let's call him a dick for the sake of the pod.
I think fair play. It speaks well of you that you are prepared to give him the benefit of the doubt, and also that's fair. Sometimes people just need a few more miles on the clock, don't they, to learn how to.
He's just thinking this woman on heels is attacking me in front of 60 people, and saying I don't know what like a period is, and I obviously do. Like shut up. But he thought I was calling him, stupid.
Sure.
And I wasn't. I play into this character that men know nothing. And I explain all the parts of a woman to him, and it's very fucking basic.
It's a bit of fun as well, Right. Well, yeah. Look, final question: how do you unwind after a gig?
Well, I think because, like I said to you, everything has come as such a shock and I dissociate when I'm on stage and I do this big grown-up girl thing. When I come home, I love to act like a child. I love to get into my fluffy pajamas from Primark, put on something like Paddington or the Great British Bake Off or something I grew up watching, have a cup of tea or hot chocolate, and then I color or I do a jigsaw puzzle. And that obviously sounds very rock star to me. I'm obviously doing lines of cocaine off people's shafts, etc.
Yeah.
in my spare time. But that is what I do. You're actually balancing on a jigsaw right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
amazing.
I just love to do something that completely focuses my mind and gets into some sort of calming rhythm before I go to bed. Yeah.
There is something meditative in that.
Yeah, there is. And
I've got back into journaling.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I feel?
Every morning, every evening, when?
I feel more centered. Both morning and evening.
Jesus Christ, that's a big commitment.
No, it's called the 6 minute. It's like I'm doing an ad. The 6 minute journal. So the idea is that you do 3 minutes. So you set your intentions, and then at the end of the day, you say what you're grateful for. That sort of thing, you know.
I actually do. I have a very close friend that does that, and sometimes I join him. I don't know why I said that. He's my boyfriend.
Friend zoned him.
Well, I just like, do I want to? It's a new
No,
thing.
I know what you're saying. You didn't want to put. Yeah, you're thinking, do I want it out there?
Yeah, but then I'm like, you know what? I'm actually not Meryl Streep. So I don't think anyone cares. Also, there's also a thing when you get a boyfriend that it's like, fuck, my comedy's not going to be as funny now because so many of my stories were about being, single and oh God, am I allowed to be happy? But anyway, he does that and I join him sometimes. I remember our first time we spent the night together, he woke up in the morning and he was like, I'm just journaling. And I was like, wanker, wanker, wanker.
Can I just say that I bought my girls' kiddies journals and my wife. So the four of us had journal. Wait for it. Every day, them three doing other stuff. Me sat on my own. It's not. It's not been the family bonding time that I in my mind I thought it was going to be.
You can't force someone. They have to have an awakening, don't they? They will come to it themselves and they'll say, Dad, you were right.
It's not forcing. It's not begging them. Please.
Yeah.
Please journal with your dad, please. That was Rachel. That was a treat. Now, is there any other business? Anything we've not covered? Because we've had it before. Someone's gone, oh yeah, you didn't mention that I've got a new. Any other business, if you like.
Any other business? I guess the Soho shows, Soho theatre shows are selling well on the UK tour. I have Christmas shows in Dublin, but they are gone. So yeah.
I suppose we can say we could. One of the great things about this is it's not just. So if you're not Irish, we could also all get on board the Galvo Express.
Oh, sorry. Absolutely. I the reason I'm doing this UK tour is to show people that you don't have to be Irish, please. And I don't hate English people. My boyfriend is English. I live in London. Do you know what I mean?
No, sorry. That was, to be honest with you, that was on me. The reason why I said that is because at the start of the show, I'd made a point of saying the great thing, the Irish, fantastic at supporting Irish. Scousers are the same. Great getting behind the Scousers.
Yeah.
So, and as I was saying, I was thinking, hang on, I don't want to sound like I'm excluding. So I just wanted to, reaffirm, if you like, that this show continues to
love. You don't have to. Relating to comedy is great, but it's great to go along to a show where someone has had a completely different experience to you and listen to the stories and broaden your mind.
100%. Well, look, Rachel, you've got our email address.
I can't wait. I'm definitely going to email and come and do a gig, hopefully.
Drop us a line, and we're also booking into 2026, so
brilliant.
We'll get some. We've got some gaps. I'm not sure this is great podcasting. We've got a couple of gaps this calendar year.
Okay.
And then we're also booking into next year. So hopefully we'll meet you. We'll meet you IRL.
I would love to do that. We can have a group hug and dance. Woo!
Rachel, that was first class. That was phenomenal. Huge thanks to Rachel Galvo. Huge thanks to Team Galvo for unearthing a gem. I say unearthing, she's hugely popular already. But certainly for us, for unearthing a gem for Always Be Comedy. Very grateful. Now, Tim, it's a classic. We haven't met them. How do we come up with a favourite memory? My favourite memory is her rinsing me over the Troubles and England and Ireland. And that's when I knew This is friendship. This person feels like they know me well enough to rinse me on the pod, and I just thought it was wonderful.
That's good. Yeah. Look, it's all good natured. It's all fun stuff.
It was
good.
all fun stuff. It
Yeah.
was good natured. It was, yeah.
Really nice. My thing is probably something that happened maybe 5 minutes before the podcast actually began, where we talked about how we used to go to the same branch of Super Value in South Dublin.
Yeah, I missed this. I think I was having a wee or getting a cup of tea or something, but
Yeah.
They really were. But imagine these two like in a conga, and then I'm like looking through the window. Oh, that looks fun in there. They're both like swigging champers. Oh God, Mile, I didn't know, not yet. Tim, Rachel Galvo. If you're not on board, I'm about to say we're driving another bandwagon, but the Galvo bandwagon is very much in full swing. But we imagine a lot of you are already on board, but if you're not, do check out Rachel Galvo. Very, very much feels like here to stay for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the first UK tour she's done, and I have to assume first of many.
Well put. I'll be asking Rachel for warm-up work in about, I was going to say in a few years, probably in about a fortnight.
Yeah, she talked about how she was at the House of Guinness launch event, wherever
she was. Yeah.
She's getting in all the places.
It's like that time when I was warming up a show and a then unknown, I think, associate producer was Rosie Jones, and I was like, if you want any tips on comedy, and then about a fortnight later, I saw her as a panelist on 8 out of 10 Cats.
Yeah,
Rosie, have you got any tips for me on comedy? Very, very much like that with Rachel. Anyway, we will hopefully see you at a show soon. Huge and heartfelt thanks for everything, as always. Two grateful boys. Bye.